Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Strive305 podcast. My name is Tico Casamayor, and I'm here with my co-host, Irvans Augustin. And we have, look at that beautiful name, Aitzarelys Negrón, CPA. It's Aitza, like pizza. That's what we call her here. Her friends call her that. So we're excited again, once again, another freaking episode.
We're back.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, man.
If it wasn't for his good looks, we would have been gone by now because the girls just want to see him on TV.
Don't mind him.
All right, today we're here with Aitza, and Aitza is a genius. But before I get to the genius, let me get to my dumb stuff. Welcome to the Strive305. You've got the host, Tico Casamayor, Irvans Augustin, Urban Impact Labs, AC Graphics, and we're both here representing Strive305 and our wonderful mayor, Mayor Levincala, who's the one that started this initiative or is pushing this initiative and is making us help her push this initiative, and our boy Manny Sid, who's
Manny Sid.
Yep.
He doesn't like people to say his name, so we try to say it all the time.
Yeah, he says, don't mention me. Don't mention me. You guys don't have to talk about me, so we talk about him the most. And I didn't even tell you, the other night at his Mayor's Cafe in Miami Lakes, for anybody that wants to try his place out.
Who's Mayor's Cafe?
Mayor's Cafe in Miami Lakes is Manny Sid's place.
Manny Sid, you said?
Yes. So on Friday, he had was it Friday or Saturday? Saturday, he had a pop-up with Kobe chicken. So I had fried Kobe chicken. It was like spectacular.
But was it good?
Super delicious. I even took some with me. I pretended that it was, I'm going to serve a table, and I just took it.
You pretended it was for your wife, and
and I just took it. And then when I did dinner at another restaurant, because I had to go to a fancy restaurant.
You brought your own food to another restaurant?
To the restaurant.
Smooth.
Don't lie. I literally had a pizza and the chicken right there. So thank you for that, Mayor. Thank you for that Kobe chicken. What else do we got? Oh, our boys, Grant and Michael Miller from Community News.
Grant Miller, Community News.
And who's our favorite producer? Alex. He's the man back there behind the camera. Without him, you wouldn't look this good.
I wouldn't be in the frame either. I'm never in the frame. I always sit too far back. Thank you, Alex.
All right, here we go. I want you guys to hear this young lady talk because I heard her one day at a ribbon cut. We were at a ribbon cutting. She was the guest speaker at that event.
Yes, that's right.
Gasoline, remember, down at Richmond Heights. And when I heard her speak, I was like in awe. And I was inspired. I took notes because of everything that she has to talk about. She's actually helped me before the show with an issue I'm having with numbers and math. When you have a business, a lot of, if you open up a business, I have a printing company, a website development company, and that's all I think about is the printing. The next job, oh my God, it's going to be late. It's going to be on time delivery. I don't even know if I make money in the end, and sometimes I wonder, do I rent my properties and get rid of the business? Will I make more money?
Save yourself the hassle.
Having the hassle, I don't know. So where do you go? Who do you go for something like that? My bookkeeper can tell me what I'm making, and what the numbers are, but she can't tell me if I do.
That's just data. You need someone to help you interpret that data.
Right. So strategies and T. That's the last thing I'm going to say because she knows me already that I don't shut up. So she's looking at me already with the eyes. Stop talking. So I pass it on to YouTube. But it's very important you guys listen because incredible information. And it's extremely important when you have a business to know this kind of information. So, guys.
But you said strategies and T.
Yes.
What are we talking about here?
Yeah. My business name?
No, what is T for you?
The T. So the T, it's an acronym. So it stands for tenacity, education, and accountability.
Okay.
And it's a play on words. So there's a common phrase that says spill the tea. And usually we talk about gossip or something that doesn't really help uplift ourselves or the people around us. And so I'm changing that narrative to say I spill the tea on all things money so we can uplift our communities through money, but also through mindset and that relationship that we have with our money.
I like that. Well. Tenacity, education, and
accountability. Yeah.
And how did you even end up thinking about strategies and T?
So to be very honest, my own story of being financially overwhelmed. I had a lot of debt. I worked for a top 4 accounting firm. And when the people hear what I do, they're like, oh, you must be so great with numbers. And yes, I was great with numbers. But when it came to my own, personal finances.
You were good at other people's numbers.
Yeah, other people's numbers. I was also drowning. I felt a lot of shame. And I did all the things that people do to get out of debt and figure out their finances, right? So all the different budgeting strategies, all the tips, but it wasn't working. And it didn't work until I started getting what's the root cause of why I'm spending like this? What are some things that I learned as a child that I didn't realize are impacting me now as I make decisions getting older? And once I figured that out, then everything started working. I started building a financial runway for myself. When the pandemic happened, I was laid off. I was okay. I started doing free resume reviews because I actually looked at my finances. I'm okay. I don't need to work for a few months. And so when I started doing those free resumes, I noticed people that were even closer to retirement age, they needed to get a job. And they were so stressed and anxious around money
that
it was really holding them back. And that was one of the drivers of financial literacy is key. 68% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, regardless of if they're
68%.
68%,
It's horrifying.
right? And even if six-figure earners,
So scary.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that I would like when they say living paycheck to paycheck is people who are making six figures and up now. So it's not even just like,
Yeah, one of those that I thought I'd be retired already. I wanted to retire young and then, relax on the boat and just cruise around, but I can't.
one day you can. You just need a system. You need a system.
I got to stop doing free Strive305 podcasts.
there you go. And we could get paid for stuff. We all need to
Be doing this, but not having to be worrying about money, but I can't worry about the money.
Yeah.
So keep telling me, keep instructing me because you're going to save my life.
Yeah. Well,
no pressure.
I think people, they assign and they think that the number is going to reduce their anxiety and their overwhelm. And so when I work with clients, whether you're a professional that's working or a business owner, because business owners, you're just a person wearing two different hats. So the way you see money in your personal life just bleeds into how you run the business or fail to run the business, right? And so what I help people do is connect it with the vision of their life. What is the value and the vision and the impact that you want to make in your life, which is beyond a number, because the number is going to keep changing.
Yeah.
But the vision will stay the same. Maybe you'll have some slight tweaks as things in your life change. But once you get that together, then you stay committed to the progress and the work you need to do around money. And so I think that connection is where there's a gap. People just pursue, especially if you're in the Black and Brown community, it's put your head down, work hard, and that's how you're going to climb. But you're not going to climb if you don't know how to also advocate for yourself, speak up when it comes to promotions or raises, or I want to launch this business, or asking for help, right? When you're doing that. So
That's one of the things. I don't know. I'm never good at asking for help.
Oh, yeah. I'm good at giving it.
I was at an event that Chase had last week, and they were talking about men don't really ask for help. So they kind of just they just work hard and build the business, but they don't really go out. They don't attend. It was only women showed up to that event. And so, I think there's something there to be said.
Yeah.
Y'all need to ask for help.
We do.
I'm asking for help. You feel like it's weakness, showing weakness. So you tend not to, because everybody you expect to be the one that is giving the help and providing the help and the one responsible for helping everybody else. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to ask for it sometimes.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you don't even know the right question to ask, because sometimes you just need to kind of figure some things out. But that's also part of it, like understanding and filtering those things out when and also what.
Yeah.
And how do you well, first, what's the name of your business, actually? I forgot to ask you that earlier.
Oh, Strategies T.E.A.
Strategies T.E.A. is the name of the business.
Strategies
Okay,
yes.
Very cool. And then so as you came out of the pandemic, you decided to create your own company around that time?
Yes. So I started, that was when the idea came in fall of 2020. And then on my birthday in November 2021, I was like, let me get this started. And I officially registered it in 2022 in January. So it's been since January 2022.
When's your birthday? November
13th.
So you're Scorpio?
Yes.
So am I. Don't feel bad.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
I don't feel bad.
Okay.
I'm a child of God. But
If you have to say you're a child of God,
yeah.
is that, I just assume everybody is, but all the people who say they have to say they're a child of God?
I don't think you have to say it, but I think the labeling of the horoscope, I'm trying to move away from that.
Okay, so you're switching all the labels up. I like this.
So what's your client? Who's a client? Give me your demographic for a client.
Yeah, so my ideal client are 9 to 5 corporate professionals. So they're high earners, probably close to 6 figures or over, that are dealing with financial anxiety and overwhelm, and business owners who are usually making around $250K or more a year.
Small business owners.
Small
business owners.
Yes.
Okay, so then you're a resource for my Strive305.
Yes.
So you're
Have you registered on the site yet?
As a resource?
Yeah.
No, but I should.
You totally should.
Yes.
definitely.
You totally should.
I said, but since I saw you that day, I realized that's when I know her. She's a resource, but you're also a small business owner.
Yeah.
So we're killing two birds on this podcast.
Yeah.
We're helping promote your small business, but also sharing the resources for all our other small businesses out there. And to me, that's huge. When I went to college, I was going to be an accountant because that was my best thing, was being bookkeeping. I was great at it. And when my best courses in high school were accounting. Mm-hmm. My best friend was a girl that loved accounting. We both went to UM and got into the world of accounting, and I was on my way to Nerdsville, accounting guy, and then had issues in the family business, and I had to go take that over. So I went from accounting to, a business degree. But it was my favorite thing, and I was like, I nerded out that, and I also, believe it or not, in UM, I decided to take an acting class because back then my favorite movie star was Sylvester Stallone, the Rocky movie.
Yeah.
And I found out that he went to UM, an acting class. So I go, oof, I got to do that too. Wow.
That explains the energy.
No, it was horrible because I was in
That's coffee. That's nice.
Nurtured by UM.
That's my drug. But I remember they lined us all up.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the class, the first thing they do is they line you all up, and then the teacher would go to each person. I was cornered up at the end. She'd point at them and go, cry. And the people would be like, and I'm bawling, like crying. And I'm like, oh, crap. Go to the next person. Laugh hysterically. And then, cry. And then I'm going, oh, my God, for sure I'm going to get the cry. And I couldn't. I was like, I couldn't.
Which emotion did you get?
I cried, but I couldn't do it. I could. I was just like this. I'm like,
I'm crying on the
I
inside.
can't do that book. I'm trying to something that I read later in a book. What you got to do is pinch yourself or have a lemon, something, but I couldn't do it. So I almost quit. And then I get the lead role in our project, whatever it was going to be. So it was horrifying, but it didn't pan out into anything. I went back to the family business and worked in the family business. But look at me now.
Now you cry all the time.
Now I'm a crier and
All the time.
never shut up. And I have an acting gig.
You see? You have to work that muscle.
You know. But what I don't have is financial guidance. Please, can you tell us more? Give us some examples.
So what are some of the programs you have? I see here you have coaching and accounting services, but
Yes.
you're not an accountant specifically, correct?
So I am a CPA.
You are a CPA.
I'm a CPA, but I specialize in financial statements and reporting. So people always, when you say CPA, they always think, can you do my taxes?
Yes. Okay.
But we have different specialties.
That's a distinction. Okay.
Yeah.
But you could do my taxes.
Yes, I do have someone on my team that can support you with the tax prep and planning. So everything about Strategies T.E.A is about the strategy, right? So we do provide accounting services to business owners. I think if you run a business, you definitely need to have your books ready, not just for yourself to be able to analyze that, but for opportunities. If you get a grant opportunity that's a certain amount, they might ask you for your profit and loss in your balance sheet.
Right.
Or let's say you get an opportunity to scale your business and you want to apply for that loan. They're going to ask you for your profit and loss, your balance sheet, your tax returns. So you want to be able to have these things ahead of time and be more proactive than reactive as a business owner, because then you start to scramble. And I think that's where some business owners get lost when they start to scramble their finances, or they kind of take the shortcuts. So the clients that I work with, you're probably too big now to keep doing it yourself, but you're too small for these bigger firms to pick you up.
Right.
Right.
So I kind of support those that are in the
So you
middle.
do all that that foundational type of instruction and coaching.
Yes. So why I call myself the CPA money coach is because, yes, the bookkeeping, that's the foundational work, right? Let's get your books in order. Let's set you up with a cash flow strategy. But how are you analyzing your numbers? So I've seen business owners who are paying themselves too much from their business, and then others that don't pay themselves at all. So they start to resent their business. I'm working so hard. I'm doing all these hours, but I'm not making money. Or they keep having to do cash infusions. I see business owners who are commingling. So they're getting money to their personal accounts and to their business accounts, and they're mixing, and they don't realize that when you do that, you pierce the corporate veil. Mm-hmm. So now if someone's going to sue you, they can sue
after all of it.
all of it. You and
So yeah, because you mixed it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I come in to really use that foundational, but then help clients learn how to analyze, learn how to read it and connect with their numbers so that they can start making the decisions that they need to grow their businesses.
I heard you mention Tico, he didn't have a system. What does that mean?
So a system is you probably don't have any bookkeeping. You don't have a cash flow strategy. So you're just kind of you're winging it, right? You're winging your personal finances. You're winging your business finances, which is you pay things as you go, but you're not thinking, hey, how am I setting money aside for my slow seasons in my business? So those businesses who are more seasonal, right? You should be allocating some resources. So when you hit that slow season, you have money to cover your bills, because the expenses, especially if you have rent, those are going to stay the same. You can't just opt out of paying those things. So the system is, how are we going to start organizing our money? The bookkeeping is one piece, but that's really telling you what came in, how it came in, and how it went out. There you need a system. So if you have a business that has multiple different services, you mentioned you do print and other...
And website development and wide format printing. Yeah, there's multiple things, and they are summer-seasonal.
Right.
Yeah, and you do go through all that where you're like, oh, God, I got to make payroll in the summer now when it's so slow, and you go crazy.
Yeah, and because you have different services, I see businesses who come in, they just have one line that says income, revenue. Right. But it should be broken up. So in your business, I would say you should have one for printing and one for web design. Because what if you're spending so much hours on websites, but the printing makes you the most money?
That's going to tell you where you got to put your focus on.
Exactly.
Where do you put your focus on marketing? I actually split it up even more than that. We got digital printing, offset printing, website development, design, all the different things, so that we can focus where to put the money on. My problem is I just don't get to that level. Sometimes, and like I mentioned earlier, I wonder, is this making more money than I would being a landlord with the properties that we have? So, but that's where you need the coach to hold you accountable.
Yes.
That's where you come in.
To come in and guide in the analysis.
Right, because my bookkeeper is really good at breaking all that down and showing it to me. But then now at this point, he says you need the coach. Just like when you do training or you're working out, I know how to do the workout and everything.
Yeah.
You get
but you just type
a guy holding you, telling you, okay, this is what you're going to get done today. Halfway through, you're just going to leave because you're doing it.
Yeah.
Or even that, when you're using the gym analogy, they always say, that mind and muscle connection.
Mm-hmm.
You can go do the workout, but if you're not thinking about the muscle you're working, right? They understand the science behind it. So that's where I come in similarly.
Right.
Same thing with when it comes to bookkeeping. That's one thing, but how are you managing your cash? I see a lot of business owners, they just have one account. So they think, I have, let's say, $20K. I have $20K, so I can go buy this piece of equipment that's $15,000 because this is how much money. But they're not thinking of that $20K. Well, a piece is for taxes. A piece is for your salary. A piece is to pay your team. So actually, you only have $5K to buy that equipment. And so now we're thinking more strategically, how are we going to bank? How are we going to organize our finances so that it's working for us? I'm really big on automations and systems. I really believe work smarter, not harder. And think like a bank. Think like these larger corporations. They know where their money's going. They know how their banking structure is. So
in advance,
right. So exactly. And even that, you mentioned the quarters. Right now we're going into Q4. Mm-hmm. Everyone should be planning all of 2026.
Yeah.
Q1 2026. How are you going to market? What are you launching? How are you going to promote your products and services? So it's starting to think about this ahead of time. And even on the tax piece, everyone knows tax planning and prep happens in the spring unless you file an extension. But where's the planning part? How are you strategically planning to reduce taxes? Right? That's different than just going to file your taxes. So I think that strategy piece and bringing that around your whole life in full circle is very key.
What's something that you wish small businesses understood when you're coming in and you're starting to work with them? What is it, something that you just wish they understood from the beginning that many times they don't?
I think that something I wish business owner understood is that, you have to give yourself grace, right? You're probably tapping into something, unless it's a family business where it's been already mapped out somewhat. Even in that case, you're coming in to bring change, but also is bring in the right team. So I find that a lot of small business owners, they want to do everything themselves. And so that kind of holds their business back from growing. So for example, me, I have someone who helps me with social media because that's just not my area, right? I'm not the social media person. So I think I wish small business owners understood, hey, how can I get my business to a point where I can bring in at least one team member and identify what does that team member look like that's going to help me continue to grow my business. And then from there, we can keep expanding versus I need to buy all the technology. I need to buy all the things because my neighbor who has this business told me to get this software or hire all these people, and now you're stuck. So I think taking that step back and being very intentional of where do I really need support right now that's going to help me continue growing versus let me just grab all the things and I don't really understand everything I'm paying for.
Yeah. How do you feel AI and all this other stuff that's out there at the moment kind of fits into this cash flow and money systems that you're
I think AI is great, but with limitations. I think people believe that AI is coming in to just like save and take hold of everything.
Yeah.
But you need to give it the rule. Yeah, you need to give it the rules. I think for AI, if your business for marketing, you need to add in people are high. There's so many businesses that do the same thing. I'm pretty sure there's so many printers, right? But there's something about you and how you present your business that I think can get lost if you lean too much into AI, then now your voice is muted.
No,
right?
I agree 100% because I think that the human factor is going to be much more of value.
Yeah.
Because people are going to look things that are actually touched by a person. If everything's going to be done by AI, then the value is going to switch on the things that makes it unique, right? And I totally agree with you. But like on the side of like for cash flow or dealing on the accounting side, how does AI as a tool help or not?
I think
in your opinion.
Yeah, so for the banking, I haven't really seen a lot of AI or tools to help with that kind of cash flow strategy. You have to come in and set up automations that your bank might already have so you can transfer money to set up those automations. Where I think AI helps in terms of bringing in cash flow is follow-ups and lead gen. So for example, I created an AI like automation that I can take a picture of a business card. It'll grab the information. It'll send the email. Oh, it was great meeting you. And you think it was me, but it was the AI sent it. Right. So I think that those systems with AI will help you continue to do follow-ups and also to organize yourself so you don't let leads kind of fade or get lost. Because I think people lose business because of that, especially if you're wearing the multiple hats. You can't keep track of, okay, have I followed up with this client? Have I received this payment? Have I set up these automations? So I think AI can come in and support in that aspect. And also you can create custom AI bots. And so you can have it find different networking events or things that you should be showing up with based on your business model. So I think AI can really help with that for you to do the research that you need to support your business in that way.
Yeah, so for helping with scaling, helping bring revenue and other things like, but in the end, like for the actual money systems and management of the cash flow, your eyes still need to be on it. You as an individual, as a business owner, need to.
Exactly. You need to be on that. And I have a new client who they used AI. There's a bunch of AI bookkeeping softwares out there. And so the AI was doing their bookkeeping, but when I did their assessment, it was categorizing things incorrectly, right? It was taking some things that should have been this person does a lot of travel for their business, so travel things, it was categorizing it as meals. Some things it was categorizing as, them taking money out the business. So the AI doesn't know. So you still need someone to come in and then they make money in a certain way, right? So that tool was affordable, right? That's why they went that route. But when they needed their profit and loss, they said, oh, to get your profit and loss, you need to pay $400.
Oh.
To get your balance sheet, you need to pay. So, but these are things that you should just get it.
You should
right. You're managing my books. I can't get my profit and loss, right? So I think AI, when it's left to its own vices, is not going to set you up for success. You still need to understand, because at the end of the day, you own your business, right? So you need to understand your numbers. You need to understand how things are related. And I think that's where people get lost, because they lean so much on the AI that they just think it's going to solve all the problems for them.
I have a little time. Can I get technical? And maybe even ask a question that's not inappropriate, but whatever. I'm gonna go for it.
Okay.
So I have my business. I spend my time trying to make it, and I'll tell you the reason. There's different reasons. So I have bankers telling me you need to make your business as profitable as possible, so that your books, so that whenever you want to loan, whenever you want to borrow, it looks really nice. Or even if you want to sell in the future.
Yeah.
But when you do that, and then at the end of the year, you take it to do your tax return, you're paying crazy amounts in taxes. So I can make, and I've been raised to make the books look, try to show as little profit as possible, not to pay taxes. And we can, because, there's a lot of expenses that we can put in there. Like you say, you pay yourself either more or less. Whatever the case, what do you recommend there? I mean, I get it. I don't borrow money because I don't like borrowing money. I don't like owing money. So we don't know anything on our properties. I don't know anything on my equipment. Even when I buy a car, I don't even want to know that. So I just pay it. And bankers look at me and they think I'm an idiot. But when COVID hits, I don't have any payments. The only thing I can do is my payroll. But again, bankers, what are you, an idiot? You want the cash? You want to be cash heavy? You want to be cash free? You want to be, and then at the same thing with the taxes, there's certain things that I do so that we don't show that much earnings. And then I go, but the day you're going to sell, it's a problem. But not really, because you can, your good bookkeeper is going to know what the reality is. So what is your advice as a coach to someone like that? I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about a friend.
So, well, I will say, and actually,
no tax fraud here.
I have a client. Cry. I have a client story to that. And so people always say, right, like, oh, I don't want to pay taxes. When you say you don't want to pay taxes, you're saying you don't want to make money.
Right.
The reality is people that make money pay tax, they pay less because they have a strategy.
Correct.
But they do pay their taxes. But in a client situation, they applied for a loan. And even though in the books, actually, they were profitable because they took so many deductions on the tax side, guess what? Their loan got denied because they just looked at the loan, at the tax document. So there's different things that you can do. So if you're, depending on how you file your business, you can contribute to retirement funds for the business, right? There's other things that you can do where you're reducing your tax liability. That's not necessarily, I spent all the money that came in. Because the banker is going to look at your business and say, well, if we give you this money, you just spend all the money. So how are we sure that you're going to be able to pay us back? And that's where...
If you want to borrow money.
If you want to borrow money.
But the beautiful thing is that my CPA will send me my paperwork and he go, look at that, you did a great year, you made all this money. And I go, but where's the money? Because the money is sitting in inventory or it's sitting in pre-built product.
Your equipment.
If you're not cash heavy, you just made a lot of money. Yeah. Now you've got to pay all these taxes on the money you made, but you barely have enough to do it because all the money is sitting in pre-production, or whatever. Where in my case, inventory and pre-production and, for items for the clients that pay later, blah, 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 blah. So there is a negative for me in showing that profitability.
But again, if you start putting that profitability instead of sitting in inventory that's just going to sit there and probably get outdated at a certain point, you put it towards your retirement, right? These other expenses. So it's actually paying future you.
Less inventory now, but in the old days, it was better to buy bulk.
Bulk inventory.
You buy truckloads of paper and you get it for half of whatever it costs if you buy a piecemeal.
Yeah.
So, and now I don't do it. But again, those are the type of situations that are very difficult. Hence, having a coach that can teach you these things, because that's where I get stuck. That's where I don't know where to go.
Or things change.
Things change.
Yeah.
Like right now, where my buildings are, it's a very in-demand area, which is why I got to do the math. Maybe I could be doing this with you all the time, Irvans. We could do podcasts 24/7, and I just rent the space and make the money that way instead of working.
Yeah, there are definitely different options. This is why it's important to, again, have the right team.
That means you got to give up urban impact labs to hang out with me all day long.
Or build the right team. So we do both. You don't have to give up your urban impact labs. But yeah, so I think when you have the right team around you, so you have someone like me that's coaching you through reading your financials, you have a tax strategist on your team as well that's not just prepping your taxes, but actually helping you strategize. That's where you start to see the wins. One of my clients, we came in, we saved them $38,000 in taxes, right? And before, working with us strategically, before working with us, they were like, oh, but my tax preparer used to work for the IRS. That doesn't necessarily mean that they know the strategies or have the knowledge to help you in that way. So it's all about strategy with legally and strategically. By paying herself more through her business, we ended up saving her $38K in taxes.
What other, who else do you have on your team? You mentioned a tax strategist, and...
So I have another CPA that specializes in tax. So as I mentioned, I specialize in financial statements. I have a social media person. I have a bookkeeper on my team as well. And then I have an intern that supports with, I'm helping them understand bookkeeping work too.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How do people find your business?
Also, you can follow me on Strategies and T.E.A. So Strategies and T on all platforms and strategiesandT.com.
Very cool.
I like it.
I was going to say something I forgot. Oh, it's like, I forgot again. You see, it's...
When I'm in theater, that's what my mom used to say.
It could be the age. And I went... That when it was related to like social media.
Yeah.
You use social media and you put somebody that knows what they're doing in social media. They have to get involved in the business to be able to do good work in social media.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with a CPA. A CPA that has 80 clients, it's not going to be able to provide the strategy you really need, because they'll give you the best case based on the historical knowledge they have on the other clients.
Yeah.
But to actually do a good job for your business, they got to get in the business.
Yeah, I tell you, actually understand your business.
At least to some degree, to understand what's the best way to manipulate your strategies and, and the money and the taxes and the whole thing like that.
Exactly.
So, it's 100%.
And that's why I tell business owners.
Your world is critical. So Strive305, here's a new resource. Don't say we don't do anything for you guys.
Yeah.
And another resource for you that I highly recommend using ours, since you got it right here, or finding someone that does this kind of work.
She's going to register on the site soon, so we can find her there too.
Yes, I will be registering. And for those watching, as you mentioned, those are volume businesses. So when you're working with an accountant, a CPA, find someone who has the time for you. That's not going to disappear after tax season. It's not going to disappear after they give you your books.
And you could work with other accountants, right? You could be their coaching arm for other CPAs, or like the gentleman we spoke to on the phone that only does the audits.
Or she works with the small business to tell the CPA, because in the end, the CPA will do what you're asking. Yeah. So if you have a coach that
working team with the CPA, because you don't have to, but you got to do it strategically. Because CPAs have they get mad if you step on their toes, so you've got to do it.
Well, because we have a license to protect, so that's as a CPA, we have to meet certain ethical requirements. You have to get continuing education, so we're also going to protect our license. We're not going to jeopardize what we've built in our career. So I think we have this extra level of, hey, we're going to make sure your stuff is right. There's also a reflection of us. So
100%. That we're right on time, so we finished 30. I thank you very much for being here. Thank you for the inspiration again. That's 2 times you've given me accounting
information
and motivational information. No, I just want to
pizza like pizza, strategies and tea.
Pizza like pizza, strategies like
spill the tea on all things money, y'all.
Thanks for stopping by.
Of course, thank you
very much. Thank you, everybody. See you at the next episode. Go ahead, Alex. Do it to me, please. Give me my numbers.